Today we're retiring the old 302. This thing is just so tired. It has a ton of blow by, and even though it's been very reliable, it hasn't given me any problems whatsoever. Besides now it has a bunch of blow by, and if you saw the video where I installed my headers, you heard the noisy lifter. So we're replacing this with another 5.0. This is from a 91. The cast number says it's from a 91 Thunderbird, but the accessory drive looks like it's from a truck, so I don't know. I'm not sure what it came off. Pretty sure it is from a Thunderbird. It is a 91, so I'm pretty sure it's a roller cam, and it's I did replace the timing chain. The one in there had a ton of play, and then I changed the oil pump, and the guy that I got it from showed me a video of it running, and it looks like it's pretty healthy. So I'm gonna go ahead and install this. This is ready to come out, so I'm gonna do that right now. So here we are, about a month and a half after the last video you just saw. So here's an update on what I've done. So from what you last saw, I replaced all the timing components and the oil pump. I also replaced the front and rear main seal. I replaced I guess it's the input shaft seal on the transmission. That was leaking before, so I had to address that while the engine was out. Okay, now I've had the headers on, so the exhaust is completely hooked up now. I had some the old transmission lines were kind of like bent up and on the way for the headers, so I decided to go with this rubber hose, just regular transmission cooler hose. And I did put it inside of this fireproof hose. This is kind of like a fiberglass fire resistant hose. It's used on heavy equipment, so I used that because it's pretty close to the headers, and the headers are wrapped on heat wrap, and so it should be good. So what I'm working on now is, there's no radiator in here because, well, I pulled it out to pull the engine out, but I'm also doing electric fans, and I just got done doing that, so let me show you what I have going on there. As far as I know, this is the original 78 F100 radiator. This is a Speedway Motors fan shroud that I found on eBay, and it just fits perfect. The way I mounted it is, I found these little angles at work. I'm not sure what they're for, but I drilled a hole in the fan shroud, and then I used some existing holes on the radiator, and it mounted right up, and it's just a perfect size. I'm not sure if Speedway Motors is who makes it or if they just sell it, but it fits perfect. I'll put a link on the description if you guys need some. If you guys are interested in buying this, it comes with these rubber flaps that open up when you're going, when you have some speed, and I guess it allows more airflow through. I use some Mishimoto 12-inch fans because I just really like Mishimoto. So I'm gonna put this on right now. So this is what it looks like. I am very happy with the way this turned out. So now I'm just gonna connect the transmission hoses. I got the transmission cooler lines connected, based on the information that I found on the internet, the hose on top coming out of the transmission is the outlet. So that would go into the radiator, into the fitting away from the radiator hose, and then the one closer to the radiator goes to the inlet of the transmission cooler. In my case, that would be the top one, and then the bottom one, which would be the outlet from the transmission cooler, goes back into the transmission. This is what the fuel system is going to consist of. For the fuel pump, this is the fuel pump that replaced the Bosch 044. Now, I didn't know that the Bosch 044 got discontinued, and I ordered from different websites, and I kept wondering why I kept receiving the wrong fuel pump, and this is why it got discontinued and got replaced by this. This is the new part number, and the differences are the body itself is a little smaller, but it comes with this sleeve that allows you to still use Bosch 044 brackets. Now, for the adapters that you find on eBay and stuff, only the inlet works now, and the outside one, the outlet, only the banjo bolt one works now. See, I bought some fittings on eBay that came with the inlet threaded and also the outlet threaded, but the outlet one wouldn't work, and so I have to buy this one separate, but that one works. For the fuel filter, I'm going to use an original F150 filter with AN fitting adapters. I like to use original parts every time I can, just because it's a lot easier to find these parts in case I ever need to replace them. Then it's going to go into a fuel pressure regulator, and it's going to be a return style, and then it's going to return on a separate hose to the rear tank, and I am still using the original tank. So as you may know, it doesn't have a return line, so I'm going to use this to add one. And with this, basically you just drill a hole in your tank, and you use this adapter, kind of crimps in there, and then it has an AN fitting that you can connect to. So I'm just gonna get underneath the truck and figure out where I want to mount these. This is what I have so far. The fuel pump's mounted. I have this 90 going onto an AN hose, and it connects to the fuel filter over here. They're both mounted. The plan was to use the existing fuel line. It's supposed to be a 3/8. However, I ordered some compression fittings to AN fittings, and for some reason they're too small, so now I have to wait to get the right size. So this is where I'm at right now. Right now I'm working on dropping the fuel tank to add the AN fitting. That's going to be for the return line. The way I like to do this is I have this quick release straps. So what I do is take off the bolts, and then the fuel tank rests on these, and then I release it slowly here, and that's how I lower. Alright, so this is where my fuel is going to go back into the fuel tank. So basically what the instructions say is you drill a 1/2-inch hole, then you put this in with this going inside of your tank, and then you insert this bolt, and then as you tighten it, this is going to expand, and it's going to make a seal with your tank. Then once you do that, you take this bolt off, and then you replace it with this AN fitting. Now, I've only seen this done in metal fuel tanks, and this is a plastic fuel tank. I replaced these trucks do come with a metal fuel tank, but I replaced it with a fuel tank a while back. But I'm not too worried about it. I'm pretty sure it's still gonna work the same on plastic. So I'm gonna install this right now. There it is. That's what it looks like once it's on. It should go towards the top of the tank. I chose to put it right next to the original hoses. It is sticking out a little bit, so hopefully it doesn't interfere with anything. But now I'm just gonna install it back in the truck. I got my fuel hose ran all the way up to the engine bay on the return side, so now I'm ready to take off the old intake manifold and replace it with the new one. That way I know where to cut this fuel line. So I'm just gonna start taking everything apart right now and take off the intake manifold. The old intake manifold is off, and now I truly know that this is a hydraulic roller cam, because as you can see it has the brackets for the lifters. So that's good news, because I wasn't completely sure if it was. Now all I need to do is do a little cleanup here and put the new intake manifold on. Alright, intake manifold's on, fully torqued on. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to rearrange all these fittings on the fuel rails to where it works with my fuel system. The inlet is now on the passenger side towards the firewall. That's where it goes in. It goes through the fuel rail, and then it loops back through this hose back into the other fuel rail. That's where the fuel pressure regulator is going to sit. The supply line comes from the driver's side and then goes into the fuel rail, and then it goes back for the return on the passenger side and back into the fuel tank. As you can see, I went ahead and dropped the distributor in, and I started plugging in all the sensors. So now I'm just gonna continue doing this and try to clean up all the wiring, and we're pretty close to firing this thing up. Everything's connected. I have all the relays and the fuses temporarily connected with wire nuts. I just want to make sure that everything works before I go ahead and solder everything. But everything is ready to run the way it's hooked up right now. I just need to go through the initial setup on the Edelbrock fuel injection system. Once I do that, I'll try to start it, and hopefully all goes well. I just ran into a problem. I thought I was going to be able to use the stock ignition coil, but it wasn't firing up, and I checked the voltage on it and I wasn't getting any voltage on it. So I went back and checked the manual for the Pro Flo system, and it says that the ignition coil must have at least 6 ohms of resistance. And I checked this one, and it's just below 4 ohms. So I'm gonna try a different one. I need to order that one and give it a try again. But it looks like all the wiring is working right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and solder everything and just wait for the ignition coil and try again. I received the new coil. Here's the part number. So I'm gonna install this and give it another shot. It's running. What a relief. I'm an idiot for forgetting to put record. I put my phone on the tripod and I forgot to put record. So I was just so frustrated that it wouldn't start. Real quick, I want to explain the reason why it wasn't starting. Initially, I was using this wire. It was this green wire as my ignition power. And it does give you power when you have the key on, but the problem was that once you cycle the key, it shuts off the power momentarily. So it was shutting off the computer for the Edelbrock system. So I just connected it to the ignition wire on the ignition coil, and that solved my issue. But I got it started, and it's been running for a while now. It's running pretty good. I haven't taken it to a test drive yet. I'm gonna do that here soon. I'll probably do like a review video after driving it for a while. I'm gonna shut it off. The air filter that I had doesn't fit anymore. It hits the distributor, and it's probably gonna hit this too. So I'm gonna make a different intake. That's gonna be my next video. So basically, it's just gonna go this way. I already bought a carburetor plenum, which allows me to put like a regular style intake on it, and it's just basically gonna come this way, and the filter is gonna be somewhere in here. So stay tuned for that video. If you guys have any questions on installing this or anything related to this, you can ask me any questions in the comments. I'm also gonna go more in depth about my fuel system, all the components, and basically my relay system and fuses. That's gonna be on a different video, but that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. I apologize if this video was all over the place, but this literally took months just waiting on parts and just only working on it when I had time. But yeah, thanks for watching. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Thank you.